Cult of the Lamb, developed and released by Massive Monster on August 11th, is a 2D dungeon crawler-esque game with the added base building aspect. The goal of this game is to defeat each unique boss while simultaneously growing your cult. As soon as the game begins, you are executed by an old cult and then revived by a deity known as the One Who Waits, who gives you the red crown and allows you to build your cult. After your cult grows enough, you are granted access to each of the unique boss doors, each of which lead to different areas. Each boss can be accessed after 4 successful runs through their area, after which lets you enter the boss fight. Here's a list of each of the boss's doors and the cult members required. After you defeat all previous bosses, you unlock a new area which allows you to free the One Who Waits. To access this area, you have to have killed all the previous bosses and have a following of at least 20. After opening this area, the One Who Waits prompts you with a choice. Choosing to give up your crown to the One Who Waits leads to the lamb dying and the credits rolling. However, choosing to refuse leads to a 4-stage boss fight, with stage 1 through 3 being very similar to each other. Stage 1 through 3 are fairly easy as they are practically repeats of each other, the only difference being a slight range and attack increase. In these stages, you fight ball and aim, and the first stage of the One Who Waits. These fights include the summoning of chains and fireballs in easy to dodge patterns, with the only exception being that the enemies that ball summons. Stage 4 is more of a bullet hell game mode, as the only way to beat them is destroying the 3 sets of eyes twice. These eyes, however, will constantly spew different fireballs, and the One Who Waits will also summon more fireballs in different patterns. After beating the final stage, you get the options of either taking the One Who Waits into your cult or executing him. These have no effect on anything else, the only difference is that bringing him into your cult lets you get a few unique traits such as the Immortal trait. Cult of the Lamb has a few unique weapons, being the dagger, sword, axe, hammer, and gauntlets. All of these are good, with the exception of the gauntlet and hammer. The reason for the hammer being a bad weapon is that while it is a devastating weapon, the attack speed is much too slow to be effective in most fights. This, however, can be improved with tarot cards. The gauntlets, on the other hand, require 3 consecutive attacks, making them ineffective on most enemy types in the game. This being because a lot of the enemy types either fly or run away, or become invulnerable in certain stages. At the same time, I don't think that these weapons should be changed, as they supply a sort of artificial difficulty increase for players that want it, in a game that otherwise is pretty simple. While cult building is one of the main selling points of the game, I don't think that it's all that important. The reason for this being that while you do need your cult to grow in order to open doors, for the most part all you have to do is buy cult members and then feed them. This makes it fairly easy to just imprison all new members and never bother with it. This being the fact that they still count once imprisoned. However, should you choose to actually dive into the base building, it can lead to some pretty interesting stuff, such as summoning demons or public executions. Overall, this game is definitely fun and I would recommend it to anybody who asks. Watch out though, as it doesn't have much replayability in terms of story.